What's up, guys? We are back with Black Friday NFL action with the Las Vegas Raiders going on the road here to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to break down the injury report, look at player props, and find the best value on the side and over-under for this game. And we're going to cover 5 NBA games on a very nice slate, so buckle up. We have a great video for you tonight. In terms of our results there for Thursday, it was a bit rough, guys. We had the Lions at -9.5. I still feel like they were the right side in this game. A bit of a weird ending there. They end up not covering that number for us. We also saw Caleb Williams. He had a very good game, guys. Did not throw an interception, so we bricked out that player prop. We also went contrarian there on the Giants, +3.5. I do feel like that could have gone either way, to be honest, but yeah, not a good game there for the Giants. The Cowboys end up getting the win and cover, so a little bit irritating there. We did see Theo Johnson there, over 24.5 receiving yards, so cashing one prop there, and we also had our second biggest bet of the day, the Packers at -3.5. That one came through comfortably, so we'll take that one, put a win on the board, but obviously not the day we were looking for, guys. A little bit rough out there. We're going to be looking to bounce back in this one. If you want to win all of your Friday bets, hit that like button. It's good luck and show support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that little badge next to your comments absolutely warms my heart. Our videos are brought to you by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, college football, NBA, NCAA basketball, NHL, and the UFC. This is the single best time of the year to sign up with our massive Black Friday sale. You can get a full week of premium picks for only $19 or a full month for only $69. We put a crazy amount of work into our premium content, and getting it at such a bargain here in the heart of the best time of this sports season with NFL, college football, the NBA, and NCAA basketball all going on is a huge win for everyone. There's a link in the description of the video, or you can always just visit StumpTheSpread.com. Also, you want to be going over there to check out our daily free picks, and you want to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium picks straight to your inbox. If you're interested in peer-to-peer sports betting, where you can make your favorite bets against real people and pay only 1% juice, click the link in the description to check out betopenly.com, the best peer-to-peer sports betting site on the web. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our Friday night NFL matchup between the Raiders and Chiefs. The Raiders come into this game, guys, not having the best season. They're only 2-9 overall. They're fresh off of another loss. They've lost several games in a row now. They just lost in fairly competitive fashion. They lost 29-19 against Denver last week. So not a team that's going to put up a lot of wins this season. The Raiders kind of in a position where they should be more or less tanking things out. But I don't know if that's really what their goal is at the moment. In their loss against the Broncos, they had a tough time there at quarterback. Gardner Minshew ended up going down with an injury. He did complete, like nearly more than half his passes for 230 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Desmond Ridder came in. He did not look great. He didn't look like a nightmare out there, but really, guys, what we care about in this one is what is Aiden O'Connell going to look like. He's going to be back off the IR, fresh back from that thumb injury, so he's apparently 100% good to go for this game. I'm expecting decent things from him. Obviously, a big prove yourself situation, like you're getting to go up against the Chiefs here in a big time game, a standalone game on Friday night. This dude is kind of fighting for his career in the NFL right now, so I'm expecting him to be very, very locked in, and he's going to be fresh, ready to go, having had just a bunch of time off where he could work on the rest of his body, just not so much on that thumb. So we'll see what we get from Aiden O'Connell in this game. I'm honestly expecting relatively good stuff. He, has done some positive things at some points this season. He's not like a premier level quarterback or anything like that, but he's a competent game manager. He can get the ball into the places that it needs to get to, at least within reason. In terms of the running game for the Raiders, they're not having a great time. I mean, McCormick only had 33 yards last week. He only had 5 carries out there, so if they had been, having a better time out there, maybe he could have been getting a little bit more work, but we're not too worried about that, guys. We want to see what Alexander Madison can do out there, what Zamir White can do if he's available for this game. Like, this is a Raiders team that's not, shy about mixing it up there at running back. They're going to give the ball to whoever they think is going to have the best day for them on a given day. They're not a great running team overall. I mean, over the course of the season, guys, they're sitting, at dead last in the NFL, only averaging 74.6 rushing yards per game. So probably something they'd want to change here moving forward if you want to be taken seriously as a real NFL team. But hey, the Raiders have a long way to go before that starts. So we'll see what they can do in the running game. Obviously, it wasn't a big deal last week against Denver. In the passing game, we did see Myers catch 10 of his 15 targets there. Jacoby Myers, 10 of 15 catches, 121 yards, no touchdowns on the day, but still, he had a pretty solid day out there. We saw Abdullah catch a touchdown pass in the game. Trey Tucker had 82 yards. He caught 7 out of 8 targets, so some positive things definitely for the passing game here of the Raiders. That's what they're going to be trying to do. That's what they're, always going to be having to do this season, as they are very likely to continuously be trailing in games. But we'll see what happens there. This team does have some competent receivers. The question will be, is the quarterback situation going to be good enough they can get the ball to these guys? I think it's possible. We're not going to be holding our breath, on whether or not we're going to see a ton of points here from the Raiders. On the season, guys, they're putting up 18.7 points per game. That's 26th in the NFL. So not a team that scored a ton of points this season. Obviously, that is definitely a concern. They did, overachieve there the last time they played against the Kansas City Chiefs. They scored 20 points, so better than their season average against Kansas City in a game they eventually lost 27-20. So not hating what we're seeing from the Raiders coming into this game. Obviously, keeping things close against Denver. Not a huge deal. I don't think Denver's an amazing team necessarily, but they're a competent team. They're a winning team. They're a team with a chance to make the playoffs, and the Raiders obviously are not. So we'll see what they can do there in terms of the injury list here for the Raiders, guys. Alexander Mattison, he is listed as questionable, but he was already practicing on Wednesday. I will be very surprised if we don't see him playing in this game. Maybe that gives them a little bit more of a punch there at running back. Trey Tucker is still questionable at time of recording this, but I'll be even more shocked if he doesn't play, as his hip issue does not seem to be bothering him much there in practice on Wednesday. So he's already back. He's already putting in reps. I think he's going to be good to go. The offensive line is healthy. That's a big deal here. They need to be doing a good job here of protecting Aiden O'Connell. Not somebody who gets the ball out of his hands. Amazing. You don't want him re-injuring that thumb. You don't want to end up with this being, some sort of a situation where you get to your third string quarterback or whatever. Aiden O'Connell could possibly even be an upgrade here over Gardner Minshew. We will have to just wait and see on that. On defense, we do have some bad news. We see both Bennett and Hobbs listed as out for this game, which sucks. You want to have a full-strength secondary when you're about to take on Mahomes, but they will have to try and figure out a way to make it work without those two guys, which they've got a next man up mentality. Like they've been mixing and matching all season long. Like I'm not too worried about that, but obviously it's going to be looked at as a negative in this situation. So we'll be seeing what the Raiders can do here. They're going on the road to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, who are coming off of a nail biter of a win over the Carolina Panthers, guys. The Chiefs did eventually get the 30-27 win. We were on Carolina in the point, so thank you Panthers for keeping that close, and thank you Chiefs for letting it be close. At 10-1 on the season, Kansas City's having an amazing year, but when you dive a little bit deeper into these games, like they could have easily lost a lot of these. They could have lost on opening night against Baltimore. They could have lost their next game against Cincinnati. Like it just goes on and on like that. This has not been a Chiefs team that wins in blowouts. They win because they have Patrick Mahomes, who is amazing when the pressure is on and amazing on third down. So as long as those things continue, the Chiefs will probably continue to win games, but are they going to be winning games by a huge margin? Well, you don't win games by huge margins when you give up 27 points to teams like the Carolina Panthers. Mahomes had a very clean day out there. He passed for 3 touchdowns, 269 yards. He was sacked 5 times, which is very concerning, especially that happening against, not the best opponent. The running game looked decent. Kareem Hunt put up good numbers, 68 yards there on 16 carries for him. Mahomes actually ran the ball 5 times for 60 yards. You do not want to see Patrick Mahomes having to run the ball in the regular season regardless, but you really don't want to see him having to run the ball against a team like the Panthers, who is 3-8 on the season. You won't need him sitting back there, taking his time, picking apart the defense, and not taking hits. Taking hits on these runs, he's pretty good at getting down, getting out of bounds, yada yada, but getting sacked 5 times, like Mahomes is kind of feeling like he's in danger at this point. And if you're a Chiefs fan, I would be extremely nervous if this dude gets hurt. All of a sudden your season goes up in smoke. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if Kareem Hunt can continue to put up solid numbers there out of the backfield. He's had a pretty good year in general. We saw Noah Gray actually lead the Chiefs there in receiving yards, guys. He caught all 4 of his targets for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kelsey also did pretty well, caught 6 of 8 targets. A little bit of a down day there from DeAndre Hopkins. He did catch 5 out of 6 targets, only for 35 yards, but he did have a receiving touchdown. So yeah, they're spreading the ball around, sharing the wealth here. Mahomes does a good job. He kind of is, one of those kind of quarterbacks that doesn't discriminate. He's going to get the ball to whoever's open. They're not going to be really forcing it into anyone. He's more than happy to go to his second or third option with little to no hesitation. So liked what we saw from the Chiefs there offensively. On defense, completely different story, guys. They didn't do very much to slow down Bryce Young, who's playing much, much better, guys. He had one passing touchdown. The Chiefs gave up 263 yards to him, only sacked him twice. They didn't do a great job of slowing down Chuba Hubbard, who had 58 yards and a touchdown there on the ground. Obviously, Carolina was throwing it a good amount. Having Thielen back was a big deal for them. David Moore had a nice day. The Chiefs didn't really do a great job in this game, giving up 27 points. And over the course of the season, they've been pretty good, hovering around top 10 in the NFL, giving up 19.8 points per game. But this is supposed to be a really good defense. And over the last little bit, guys, it hasn't looked amazing. They gave 27 points against Carolina. They gave up 30 points against Buffalo. They played a very close game against Denver. They gave up 24 points against Tampa Bay. And the last time they faced the Raiders, that was at Las Vegas. They gave up 20 points in that 27-20 win. So definitely have some questions right now about this Kansas City defense. In terms of their injury situation, the Chiefs are looking fully healthy there on offense, which is obviously a huge deal. They're reportedly going to be activating Pachenko for this one, although it remains to be seen how many touches he's going to get, but he is going to be available for this game. That's a step in the right direction for the Chiefs. Defensively, they're looking healthy as well, which has to feel great at this point in the season, but they're in a weird spot right now with their kicking game, guys. Butker, obviously, still on the IR. Spencer Schrader is questionable for this game, dealing with a hamstring problem. Playing in a super cold environment is going to make that probably feel a little bit worse. So I have a lot of questions about how good the kicking is just going to be in general for the Chiefs in this game. They're probably not too worried about it. They're playing the Raiders. The Chiefs are huge favorites in this game, but you got to be able to make kicks late in games, especially if you're a Chiefs team that keeps on playing these super close games almost regardless of opponent. So definitely going to be monitoring that heading up closer to game time, guys. We're also going to be monitoring the weather situation here. It's not looking too crazy at the moment. It's projected as mid-30s with a slight chance of snow and very little wind. So no massive concerns yet, but things can change. So just keep an eye on that weather report. If this changes into a lot of snow or something like that, it can have a significant impact. I don't think the temperature is a big problem right now, but I do worry about a little bit. The Raiders probably not a team, from Las Vegas is going to be super stoked to be playing in a mid-30s kind of game here in the Midwest, but we'll see what happens. I'm not looking at the weather as a massive problem for this game. In terms of some trends for this one, guys, we see Las Vegas, they are 4-7 against the spread this season. They are 8-3 to the over. Kansas City 5-6 against the spread. They are 6-5 to the over themselves. So both teams showing trends towards the over. Guys, we're going to be leaning towards the Raiders and the points. I don't love having to do this. You don't have a great time betting on these bad teams, but it is profitable. We see the Chiefs are 0-4 against the spread as a favorite of 7.5 or more. Mahomes is 6-12-1 against the spread as a favorite of 7.5 or more over the last 3 seasons. So there's a couple reasons to be siding with the Raiders, getting all these points in this spot. We also see, earlier in the season they played, it was only a 7-point game there at the end. The Raiders were able to keep things very competitive. I don't think the Aiden O'Connell situation is a huge, bad thing for the Raiders. I think it's totally fine. No big deal at all. I think it's going to be pretty much business as usual. They're not fully healthy, but they're not, super banged up. They have their best defender out there on defense for the Raiders, so that will certainly help. And the Chiefs just continue to play these super close games. I know Mahomes says he doesn't want these games to be so close anymore. I don't think there's a whole lot he can do about it, guys. I think we're in for another very competitive game, and it doesn't even have to be that competitive. We are getting 13 points here, so jump on that early just in case things change. I could see this go in the opposite direction, though, as people, decide to start betting here on this game once the Thanksgiving games are over. They're going to be looking at this one up next, and maybe we see even more money come in on the Chiefs. So definitely give me the Raiders and the points in this spot. In terms of that over-under of 42.5, I'm going to be leaning a little bit here towards the over. I'm still sticking with my embargo of betting unders in these NFL games. I've been burned too many times, so I'm probably not going to actually be betting this over. But if you're asking me for a lean here on the over-under, I feel compelled to give one. I will tell you that I'm leaning slightly towards the over. I think we'll see both teams score some points. I don't think it'll be a ton of points, but if we see a repeat of the score that we had the last time these teams faced off, it was 27-20. That's 47 total points. That gets you right there over this number, no problem. So give me a little bit of a lean towards the over, and now it's time to hop into some player props, guys. And first up, I do like Travis Kelce here, over 49.5 receiving yards at -135. It's not an amazing price tag, but he's had 62 or more receiving yards in 4 out of the last 5 weeks. He's obviously Mahomes' favorite target out there, which does draw him plenty of attention there from the defense, but I think we see Kelce find enough openings here, get enough targets. I think we see him get to 50 receiving yards in this game the vast majority of the time. I also like Myers here at over 49.5 receiving yards. He had 121 yards last week. He was over 50 yards in 4 out of the last 5 weeks. At minus 140, that's not a very good price, but I still think, even with Aiden O'Connell now under center, he's going to be targeted a lot. He's probably, I'm not going to say he's the best. I mean, this is a very mixed bag of wide receivers here for the Raiders, but I do think he gets to 80 receiving yards in this game a lot of the time. Sticking with another wide receiver option, guys, I think Hopkins kind of didn't get enough work there in that game against the Panthers. I think we'll see the Chiefs go back to him quite a bit in this game. We're taking him over 3.5 receptions in this game at minus 110. He was over this number in 3 out of the last 4 weeks. I think he's the most talented pass catching option besides Kelsey that exists there for the Chiefs, and Mahomes will probably need him in this game. I do think the Chiefs are going to try and run the ball a good amount in this one, which is part of the reason we'll see this be a close game, but I do think Hopkins, I mean, he's only got to catch 4 balls in this one. I don't think that's too crazy at all. Last but not least here, guys, we've got a kicking prop. I like Carlson here over 5.5 kicking points at minus 115. He hasn't missed a kick in the last 5 weeks. He's been over 5.5 points the last 5 weeks in a row. I'm expecting good stuff from him in this game. It's going to be a little bit cold, but it is not projected to be windy. So yeah, he just needs a couple field goals and he'll be good to go. I don't trust the Raiders to get into the end zone when they make it into the red zone. So yeah, go ahead and give me Carlson here over 5.5 kicking points. Now, guys, we're going to hop over and take a look at some NBA games. We've got a pretty decent slate here for Friday. We're going to look at 5 of my favorites here that I'm looking at. We're looking at some pretty early lines here, so these are obviously always subject to change. Those lines in the NBA are going to be changing, and keep a close eye on that pinned comment. Those can change as well, but first up, guys, we are going to be looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. This is an afternoon game. This one is going on at 1:30 in the afternoon. And, all the NBA teams going to be coming off of their off day there on Thursday. And on Wednesday, guys, we saw the Cavaliers take a loss. They took a 135-124 loss against the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young had an absolutely insane day. He put up 22 assists there against Cleveland, and yeah, putting another little mark there against the Cavaliers, who are now 17-2 on the season. They're having an amazing start to their year, but yeah, they just didn't shoot the ball particularly well from 3, only 31%. They did a good job on the boards, but not good enough. They ended up getting out-rebounded 51-44. They just didn't shoot the ball up to their normal standards, guys. The bench continues to be banged up. They didn't have Karis LeVert for this game, which I think the hope is that he'll be back for this next one, but we'll see. He's got the extra day off there for Thanksgiving. Donovan Mitchell put up 30 points, but he was only 4 of 14 from 3. We saw Evan Mobley have a big game. He scored 22 points and had 12 rebounds. He also had 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. He was balling out there, but just didn't get enough help. A little bit of a down night from Garland. He just wasn't that assertive out there. He posted a minus 14, which is a little bit surprising. He didn't play that bad. Jared Allen had a good game as well. He posted a nice double-double, but it just wasn't enough, guys. They did not play any defense in this game. Jalen Johnson had 22 points against them. The Hawks bench went absolutely nuts, and Atlanta did shoot almost 48% from three-point range in the game. So that was pretty much the problem there for Cleveland. They just could not hold Atlanta in check in this one. They played very little defense. Maybe the Cleveland, a little bit resting on their laurels, as it were. They're off to such an amazing start to their season. They weren't super locked in for this game. At home, they got to play this one at home against the Atlanta Hawks. So we'll see if this, this bounce back spot comes through, guys. This one is going to be in Atlanta. So obviously, more of an advantage there for the Hawks, which is part of the reason we see this number so low, guys. Not a big number out there. The Hawks are currently, this is an opening line, getting 4.5 points. We've got an over-under of 245.5, so a massive total, which with the trends we've got here, Cleveland, they're 13-6 to the over. Atlanta, 14-5 to the over. That's an NBA best to the over. I'm not going to be playing the over-under in this game, guys, but I love the Cleveland Cavaliers in this spot. They're 14-5 against the spread this season. That's an NBA best against the spread mark. They're going to be out for revenge after, losing to the Hawks, a team they know they should not be losing games to. Atlanta's only 7-12 against the spread. I do think Cleveland will be locked in on defense in this one. They could have Karis LeVert back, which will give their bench a big boost. I'm expecting big stuff from all the starters there from the Cavaliers, who have been casually looking like one of the best teams in the NBA. This is a huge bounce back spot. I honestly like the Cavaliers here at anything under 10 points. I think they figure this thing out and get a blowout win. Next up, guys, we've got a nationally televised game. We've got the LA Clippers going on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves there on ESPN. The Clippers come into this game playing pretty well. They're 12-8 on the season, fresh off of a demolition, a 121-96 demolition there of the Washington Wizards. That one was at Washington. I'm not shocked to see it be a blowout win there for the Clippers, who have been playing really, really well this season. And guys, the Wizards, they're going to be real bad this season. So that's not going the way any Washington fan would have hoped. But Harden, massive game in this one. He was really showing off, put up 43 points, a plus 25. He was 7 of 11 there from three-point range. That step back, when it works, is still deadly. We saw big stuff from Zubac in this game. He had 18 points and 16 rebounds. He's having an incredible season that's not getting talked about nearly enough. He's one of the most dominant big men, that's a normal kind of big man in the NBA right now. Jordan Miller was big off the bench. He put up 15 points off the pine. Bones Highland had a nice game. He was 3 of 6 from 3, ended up with 10 points on the day. He was a -8, so I'm not going to freak out too much, but it's nice to see Busy Bones out there, doing some positive stuff on the basketball floor. In general, just really liked what we saw from the Clippers, who did not have Norman Powell in this game. There's a chance that he will be back for this one. That would make a big, big difference. He's obviously dealing with a hamstring problem. You don't want to be rushing him back, but we'll see if he's back for this one, guys. Right now on the injury report, still, just only referencing this Wednesday game, so we don't know for sure, but it was kind of being indicated that he's ramping up, getting ready to be back. It sounds like there's a decent possibility he's going to be back for this Friday NBA Cup game, so a good chance we see the full strength Clippers here as they go on the road to take on the Timberwolves, who are 8-10 on the season. They just lost a 4th straight game. We had the Kings and the points in that one. Thank you, Minnesota, for losing that game for us. Thank you, Kings, for playing so well, and a big thank you there from Malik Monk. Guys, Anthony Edwards not having a good time with his teammates, calling them out, calling them front runners, and I don't blame him, guys. He is not getting a lot of help. This trade, getting rid of Cat, keeping Rudy Gobert is looking like a disaster. Julius Randle, turns out there was a reason the Knicks were so happy to get rid of him. Julius Randle kind of sucks at basketball. To me, he very much resembles Carmelo Anthony if every one of his dribble, pump fake shots never went in. Julius Randle, a big part of the reason they didn't win this game. 1 of 5 from three-point range. He had 4 turnovers in the game, posted a -8 out there. Anthony Edwards had 29 points in the loss. He was 4 of 9 from three-point range. He put up some nice assists, only had a single turnover. It was just a rough game out there. Jaden McDaniels, 0 points in 24 minutes. Good night for him. Rudy Gobert, just terrible, guys. He's bad. He's just not good. 7 rebounds in the game. You're 7'8". You play no offense. Your whole focus in life should be playing defense and rebounding. And the dude comes up with 7 rebounds in the whole game. Just terrible stuff from Rudy Gobert. I don't know what the long-term plan should be for the Timberwolves right now, but I would be just about ready to push the panic button if I was a Timberwolves. I don't know what they were thinking, guys. That trade was horrible. They haven't got good play from Dante DiVincenzo. I've been surprised to see him struggle here. He's had a rough time finding his shot out there in Minnesota. I do expect him to start playing better at some point, but that point is not right now. Nickeil Alexander-Walker played great coming off the bench there against the Kings, but none of this was enough. Mike Conley coming back from injury. He's getting pretty old, guys. You can't really be expecting Mike Conley to fix all the problems that this team has right now, and he doesn't even get to do what Mike Conley is supposed to do because you got Julius Randle out there dribbling the ball 10,000 times every time he touches it. There was one possession in this game, watching Anthony Edwards reluctantly pass it to Julius Randle and then do a swing move around him, and he just knew there was no chance he was getting the ball back in that possession, no matter what happened. So playing with Julius Randle seeming like a really bad experience right now. Playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves not seeming like a good experience either. They are having a really rough time out there. The injury report's looking fine. That is not the problem right now. They're healthy coming into this game. What are they going to be able to do? Right now, it's showing that the Timberwolves are 5.5-point favorites. That seems crazy to me. This is an NBA Cup game, so maybe the odds makers think they're just going to be extra locked in or something. Guys, I think this is a great spot to be taking the Clippers here, getting 5.5 points. They are 13-7 against the spread this season, a very, very good against the spread record. Minnesota's only 6-12 against the spread. I really like the Clippers here in this spot. Keep an eye on this one. This line's definitely going to move. I like the Clippers here just to win this game straight up. So if it gets close to a pick'em or anything like that, I would even take the Clippers maybe -1 in this one, or -2 or 3 if we're going to see Norman Powell back. So give me the Clippers in this one for sure. Moving right along, guys, we're looking at the Boston Celtics. They're going on the road to take on the Chicago Bulls. The Celtics come into this game 15-3 on the season. They are going into their little Thanksgiving break on a 6-game winning streak. They just demolished the Clippers 126-94 in a game we saw Boston just absolutely shoot the lights out. That was crazy stuff, guys. That was crazy. They were making everything they threw up there in that win. And at 15-3 on the season, they've had quite a few nights where they've made everything. Boston ended up only shooting 43.1% from three in that game. They made 22 threes, but in the first half, it was insane. They were making everything they put up there. They jumped out to a massive. They scored 51 points in the second quarter. This is a crazy style of basketball, but you got to be loving it if you're a Celtics fan. Obviously, I mean, we saw Tatum play really well. We saw Derek White play well in the game, 5 of 9 from 3 for him. Jaylen Brown played great. We saw Porzingis come back. That's a huge deal. He came back earlier than I would have ever expected him to come back, and he played really, really well. I would think and hope they'll be limiting his minutes, limiting his injury exposure here down the stretch this season. Obviously, they need him out there to, develop chemistry and everything, to get in the flow of the game, get a rhythm going, but I don't think you want him out there too much. The dude is, I'm not going to say he's made of glass, but you have to be worried about injuries with Porzingis at all times. So we'll see how much he plays, how many minutes. I would think around that 23-minute mark, which is what he played in this game, is pretty much right for him. And you don't need to be forcing him to play a ton of minutes, guys. This bench is excellent. They can handle things. Peyton Pritchard posted a plus 30 coming off the pine. He scored 20 points. He was 6 of 10 from three-point range. This Celtics team is just looking like an absolute juggernaut, and they come into this game pretty healthy, guys. Al Horford is on the injury report. He didn't play in that game against the Clippers. We'll see if he's back for this one. He was dealing with an illness, so I'll be pretty shocked if he's not healthy and ready to go here after Thanksgiving. They will likely kind of need him, but maybe not be vital for him to return here as they go on the road to take on the Chicago Bulls, who are 2-2 over their last 4 games. They just lost their last time out, a 133-119 loss there at the Orlando Magic. They weren't able to keep that game quite close enough. At 8-12 on the season, Chicago not having the best time, but not the worst time necessarily. Zach LaVine only scored 8 points in this game. He had 10 assists out there. He played 31 minutes, but he wasn't being super assertive because Dosunmu was going nuts. He had 21 points. Taylor Horton-Tucker scored 20 points coming off the bench. It was just a weird night out there for Chicago, and they ended up taking the loss. I would really like to see LaVine get to somewhere he could, compete for something important, because I do think the guy's a monster. But yeah, the Bulls they're a weird team, kind of hard to figure out right now, but I don't think they're really headed anywhere amazing this season as they continue to shop LaVine and Vujacic out there, just seeing if anybody would like to pick them up. We see Patrick Williams listed as out, Jalen Smith listed as out. We don't know if they're going to be back for this game or not, since they've got that extra day off. It's definitely possible, but we're just going to have to wait a little bit closer to game time to find that out. Looking at the numbers for this game, we see this Bulls are getting 8.5 points playing at home right now, at least. We've got an over-under of 238.5. Boston 8-10 against the spread. They're 9-9 to the over/under. Chicago 9-11 against the spread. They are 12-8 to the over. Guys, I like the Boston Celtics here to win this game in comfortable fashion. I think they'll win it by double digits. I like the Celtics here at anything, up to -10, maybe -11. I think they'll get a comfortable win here. I am a little bit worried about a slight Thanksgiving hangover, but with Porzingis coming back, I think they're going to be pretty locked in, and this is an NBA Cup game, so they should be dialed in here trying to put up a big win. I don't know how much Boston cares about the NBA Cup this season, so that's a slight concern. They're definitely more focused on winning a championship again and repeating, but I do think this is a great spot to take the Boston Celtics, who are very likely to win this game walking away. Next on the docket here, we're looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Lakers in our second nationally televised game of the night. The Thunder come into this game fresh off of a tough, hard-fought, well-earned win, though. Thank you, Thunder, for covering that 2.5 points. Some missed free throws down the stretch made this thing kind of iffy there, but SGA got it done for us in the end. The Thunder have won 3 in a row. They got the 105-101 win there over the Warriors, who ended up not having Curry, so not a game that should have been really this close, in my opinion. We did see SGA shoot the ball really well down the stretch, made some clutch threes, only 3 of 12 from 3 overall in the game, and OKC definitely had a hard time with that Warriors defense. They shot 11 of 37 there from deep. We did see Jalen Williams go down in this game after playing only 16 minutes, so we're not very confident that he'll be back for this game. He got poked in the eye pretty aggressively. It was a weird play where Kuminga was going down the lane. He was going up for a dunk, and you throw when you're going to jump like that. I would think, since I clearly, look at me, I'm not somebody that's ever dunked a basketball before, but when you throw your one hand up, you throw your other hand out, and that other hand just caught him in the face. It was obviously unintentional. wasn't looking at him. No way he could know he was there, really. So yeah, Jalen Williams probably will be back for this game, I would think, and that will lead the Thunder to be, nearly at full strength given what they have available right now. I don't know if Caruso will be back for this game. We are very confident. Yeah, we're not going to have Holmgren back yet. Yeah, we'll see. I think Caruso probably will be back here after Thanksgiving. So that should be a nice little boost there for the perimeter defense. And in general, the Thunder, they're just playing great this season. They're off to a great start to the year, 14-4 overall, and Hartenstein is playing amazing on both ends of the court. So things are looking up for the Thunder here as they go on the road to take on the Lakers, who are happening upon hard times. Who would have thought? They are coming into this game fresh off a win, though. AD and LeBron played well in their 119-101 win there at the San Antonio Spurs. Now the Lakers get to head back to LA, enjoy Thanksgiving, and get ready to play against the Thunder. In that win over the Spurs, guys, we saw good stuff. AD played well, like I said, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, which is interesting. LeBron posted a triple-double in the win, 16 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. Dalton Knecht shot the ball well once again. He had 20 points. He was a +9. The bench, the Lakers bench, guys, played really well in this win. D'Angelo Russell put up a +19. He scored 17 points off the pine. Max Christie put up a +16. He scored 12. That's a great development here for this team, but yeah, I still have all the original questions that I had here about the Lakers. We'll see what they can do in this one. They do come into this game looking like they should be very healthy and ready to go. I'm expecting good stuff from them in terms of everybody being available here. Looking at the numbers of this game, this seems crazy. A lot of books are reporting now. We've got the Lakers at, this is basically a 1-point game. We've got the Lakers -1. That seems crazy to me. If this changes, and I expect it to, I would probably like the Thunder here up to and including like -4 or 5. I think we are looking at a huge hangover spot here for the Lakers. The Lakers are only 8-10 against the spread this season. The Thunder are 10-7 against the spread this year. We've got mixed trends towards the over-under. I don't care about the over-under here. The Lakers are coming off a win. I know this is a cup game, so maybe they'll be more locked in, but so will the Thunder. I love the Thunder in this spot going on the road to take on a Lakers team that's going to have just spent, a day eating and chilling there in LA. The Thunder doing whatever, but they are going to be ready for this game. They're going to be ready to kill it. I'm expecting a big night from SGA. Who on the Lakers can guard SGA? I don't think anyone. I think Hartenstein can do enough to slow down Anthony Davis. Obviously, we really want to see Jalen Williams back for this game. That would make a big deal. So monitor that leading up to game time. But right now, guys, I really like the Oklahoma City Thunder in this spot. In our last game here on Friday night, we are looking at the Sacramento Kings. They're going on the road to take on the Portland Trailblazers. The Kings come into this game fresh off of a nice 115-104 win there at the Minnesota Timberwolves. We saw DeRozan sit this game out, and all of a sudden, boom, there it is. We've got the old look Sacramento Kings. We had this game, we had the Kings, and we loved it as soon as we knew DeRozan wasn't going to play. Had that one as a premium, we will definitely take it, guys. Malik Monk, 27 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds in the win. He was hitting crazy step backs. He was doing everything that we have become accustomed to seeing Malik Monk doing when he is given the freedom to operate out there and he doesn't have to worry about deferring. De'Aaron Fox had 26 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. It was just a very good night out there for the two guards that you want to see going nuts if you are a Sacramento Kings fan. We saw Sabonis do what they needed him to do, guys. He had 27 points. He was a +15 out there, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. The dude was killing out there. He did get in foul trouble a little bit, but that didn't hamper him too much down the stretch. We also saw that was 27 points off the bench from Malik Monk. The Kings won this game despite shooting only 32.4% from three-point range. They were great on the boards. They dominated the boards there against the Timberwolves. Maybe Rudy Gobert is ready to quit basketball. I don't know what's going on. That dude needs to get out. I don't know. It's brutal to watch. It's brutal to watch him and Julius Randle on the same team. Like, somebody for the Timberwolves needs to get fired over that trade. Like that, I know I keep talking about it, guys, but that was just insanity. I can't believe that happened. Anyway, yeah, we like what we're seeing from the Sacramento Kings right now. They are playing much, much better. Getting Malik Monk back, having that punch coming off the bench is a huge deal. We'll see if DeRozan is back. We kind of hope that he's not, to be honest. He's dealing with a back issue. He was obviously out for that game, but I do feel like there's a decent chance he'll be back, so keep a close eye on that. I think he really messes up their spacing, messes up their pacing, and I just don't think he's a great addition for this team. So we'll see if they can work him into the actual flow. Hopefully he was paying attention to that game that he just watched his team win without him, and he can kind of work his way into them doing that out there. But their opponent in this game is a team not having a great time. The Portland Trailblazers have lost 2 in a row and 4 out of their last 5 to fall to 7-12 on the season. They were kind of winning a few too many games for a team that really wants to be tanking it out, and they got they played relatively competitive there at the Pacers, eventually losing 121-114. But it's not like we really saw all of the Blazers out there. Anthony Simons continues to put up very nice numbers numbers. 30 points for him in the loss. Other than that, guys, I mean, we did see Ayton come back. He had 16 points and 12 boards. There are plenty of nice trade trade pieces there for the Blazers if they wanted to, make some moves and kind of try and tank even harder. We'll see what happens there. They did shoot 45.7% from three to keep this game close. Not something I expect to see from this team very often. Scoot Henderson went 3 or 4 from 3, for God's sake. Like, that dude has not shown that kind of ability very often. So we'll see what happens here in terms of their injury report. You never know who's going to be in, who's going to be out right now for the Blazers. So we'll have to keep an eye on that leading up to game time. They could be relatively healthy for this game. That's definitely a possibility coming off of that extra day off. But guys, Portland, they're getting 5 points in this game. We've got an over-under of 224.5. Sacramento's only 7-11 against the spread this year. Portland's actually 11-7 against the spread. We got both teams showing trends here towards the under, with Portland being a big under team. They're 11-7-1 to the under. I'm going to withhold judgment here. If we see DeRozan back, I might actually like the under in this game, but right now my main lean is going to be the Sacramento Kings here at -5. I think they get the job done in this game comfortably against Portland. I think we're going to see the Kings go on a little bit of a run here. It seems like that win over the Timberwolves kind of awoke something in this team that's been a very, very good team. I don't think there's anybody on Portland that can really handle Sabonis at all. There aren't that many guys on the perimeter that can guard anyone, so I'm expecting continued big stuff from Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox. I really hope for their sake that DeRozan is not back for this game and they can continue to just go out there and kill. So yeah, definitely like the Sacramento Kings in this game. I probably like them at anything, 7 points or less, I think is totally fine there for the Kings. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate, and don't forget to get over to stumpthespread.com and check out that Black Friday pricing, guys. It is a great time to jump on board. We've got so many sports going on right now. This is the best price you're going to see all year long. So definitely hop over there, take a look at that. It can be a Black Friday gift to yourself, and is a gift that can pay for itself in only a single bet or a single day of betting. It can immediately take care of itself. So thanks for watching, guys. Once again, don't forget to hit that like button, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.